All right, everybody, what's going on? Ron Harris here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy 420 for those of you who recognize, participate in that particular special day for those who indulge in the cannabis plant. I'm going to take some of your questions, but first I want to start with some questions that I had ahead of time. I asked for some questions and got a couple on Instagram and Facebook. So let me start off with those. Here's a good one. Did you watch the episode of Sin City Murders about Craig Titus and Kelly Ryan? So that was on Oxygen TV. I made notes on it there. Yes, I did. There was one factual error. That's what the note refers to. So Lonnie Teeper, very, very noted journalist, gossip columnist, historian. He was interviewed as part of it. Sean Ray was interviewed as well. But at one point, he said that Craig had been second place at the Mr. Olympia twice, and that he had won the Arnold Classic. I think he might have been confusing Craig with Sean Ray. Sean Ray did both of those things. Craig never won an Arnold. The best he ever did in Arnold Classic was sixth. Best he ever did in the Mr. Olympia was 11th. He did the Olympia twice. He was 11th one time, 12th another time. He never got second place. But it was pretty interesting. Didn't learn a whole lot of new details about the murder. This happened in, I think, 2005, almost 20 years ago now. So apparently the deceased, Melissa James, had been in an argument with Kelly Ryan, Craig's wife, who was their live-in assistant. I'm rolling my eyes because it was, pretty well known that they were like a throuple, trip, whatever you call that. So the argument, and Kelly tased her a couple times. They found the evidence from being the taser just shoots out this weird like confetti stuff with actual markers on it telling you when it was discharged. And then apparently Craig confided to someone that same night, I think, or the next night, that he had walked in on the fight and broken it up and choked her out. They tried choking her. They tried overdosing her on morphine. They ended up strangling her to death, I believe. Put duct tape all around, covered her entire head with duct tape. There was a ligature around her neck. Put her in the trunk of Kelly's Jaguar. They drove out to the desert, lit the car on fire with her her body in the trunk, then reported the car stolen the next morning. Anyway, I did get a kick out of the fact that they mentioned the town I've lived in for 23 years now, Stoughton, Mass., which is where they were apprehended. They went all the way from Las Vegas. They were on the lam. They were fugitives from justice for a few days, and they were apprehended about not even a mile that way, about 3/4 of a mile that way. She was getting her toenails done at a nail salon that my wife used to go to, and he was outside in their pickup truck that they had swapped out for one that they already had. The one that the police were looking for, they got rid of that, and he got a new truck. He was drinking some orange soda or root beer, I think, whatever it was. I think it was orange soda. And they busted him, the FBI. They were their plan was, they were seeing a former friend of Craig's, named Matt Klein, now deceased as well, who lived in the next town over, Canton. And their whole scheme was that Matt would be able to arrange fake travel documents for them and cash. And they were going to go to Greece, the country of Greece, which did not, at the time, I don't know if it's still the case, have an extradition policy with the United States. So they would have been scot-free if they had been able to board a plane and get all the way to Greece. But they were caught right here, right over there. All right. Next question. Why do people focus on cardio for fat loss when every pound of muscle added burns 50 calories a day? Why not just build more muscle? Trying to get really lean without doing cardio, good luck. So basically getting leaner is just a function of caloric balance, calories in versus calories out. So when you're trying to gain, you want to be in a caloric surplus. When you're trying to lose, you're in a caloric deficit. You need to be expending more calories than you're taking in. So you could either just starve yourself and eat far fewer calories, or you could eat a little bit more and make up the difference calorie-wise and expenditure-wise in the form of cardio. So most people would rather eat more food and do some cardio to do it. It would be very difficult. It's very difficult to get lean for most people without cardio. I know there are people that do it. It's rare. They're very rare, typically have very fast metabolisms. Yes, the more muscle mass you have, the more calories you're just burning at rest. That's absolutely true. Still, though, very, very few bodybuilders can get into contest condition or anywhere near it without at least a half hour cardio a day. A lot of them do an hour, hour and a half, sometimes even 2 hours of cardio. Ronnie Coleman was known for doing 2 hours on the step mill. That would be, I think he did an hour on the step mill. Yeah, I think toward the very end of his preps for Olympia, he would be on that thing for 2 hours. My buddy Jose Raymond, same thing. He used to be on doing cardio. Stepper was his preferred method, upwards of an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours a day. Most people, I'm not saying that's how much you need to do, but I'm saying you're probably going to need to do some cardio to burn the calories, just to lose the body fat, because otherwise, what are you going to do? Take your calories down like 1,000 calories a day? You're gonna look, your muscles will start getting really flat. You'll lose muscle tissue doing that, going that low on calories. So, telling people just gain more muscle, easier said than done. Especially if you're trying to get lean, you're eating very clean and you're not eating in a caloric surplus. So how are you going to gain the muscle? It just doesn't make sense. So most of us don't like cardio. We're not fans of it. We don't look forward to doing it. It's kind of like a necessary evil. So we do it. We get it done. All right. Before we get to your questions, let's do one that's based on today, the 420 day. Have you ever trained while high on cannabis? Do you recommend it? I've done it a couple times. I want to say 2, maybe 3 times in my life. I got very paranoid. Like, I thought everyone could smell it on me. This is before gummies were a thing and edibles were a thing. You had to smoke it. Or at least I didn't know about. I'm sure edibles have been around forever. I just had no clue. So anyway, I remember like one time in prep, like 2002. Don't ask me why I tried this. This is 22 years ago. Went to the gym and I could swear everyone was looking at me. I thought everyone knew I was high. I wasn't paying attention. I walked into a weight tree and banged my shin really hard, hurt my shin. Yeah. So for me, I didn't personally care for it. I don't like it. Now, a lot of people do swear by it. They love training high. Even in the last 2 gyms I belong to, I've been at this one for 6-7 years now, but even at the one before that, you'd smell it in the locker room quite a bit. You still smell people coming in high, coming out of their cars. It's legal in my state. You're not supposed to drive high, obviously. I'm hoping that they're doing it in the car before they get into the gym and not driving high, but who knows? So they do feel like it gives them a better mind-muscle connection. They can really feel the muscle and get the squeeze and focus and do all that stuff. And I would never want to see someone training, like a heavy squat or a deadlift or even a bench press, something that requires, really precise technique. I just don't think the motor skills can possibly be at 100% if you're under the impairment of marijuana. And I'm not a prude, man. The only reason I quit marijuana about halfway through January, after many, many years of very regular use, was because of this hair transplant. And the THC, which is also, unfortunately, I can't do edibles, I can't do gummies, none of that. THC, the active ingredient that gives you that high, that feeling, it does thin out your hair. You'll eventually get like that fine baby hair. And I'm trying to have thick hair. I'm trying to bring this hair back. You can see where the new hairline is. It's coming in, and I'm not going to screw that up. I'm not screwing that up. No way. Subscribe, like, share, ring that bell. Let's get your comments. Here we go. All right. First one comes from Chris Gutierrez. Says, who do you expect to be in the top 6 this year that wasn't in it last year? So for this, I had to I saw this come up right before I started live, and I had to pull up to remember who was in there. So let's share the screen with the Olympia results from 2023. Make sure you guys can see that. Yep. Make sure I'm not muted. Yep. Okay. So we had Derek Hottie. Derek and Hottie will definitely be there. Samson will definitely be there. Assuming Brandon will be there. Andrew Hunter. Kriza, Michael Krizanek, I would not be surprised at all if he was in the top 6 this year. Who's he going to beat? I don't know. See, that's the problem is there's a few people that are definitely going to be. There's these 3, the top 3. I cannot see them out of the top 6. There's just no way unless some horrible illness or accident happens to them close to the show. I can't see Derek, Hottie, or Samson not being in the top 6. Now, Nick Walker was not in the top 6 last year because he injured his hamstring about 8 or 9 days out from the show. So there's one guy I can say for sure. I can guarantee you, I'll bet you good money, Nick Walker will be in the top 6 this year. Antonio, maybe, Son, Andre. Who'd we miss? I don't know. If you guys can think of anybody else, I don't know. I'm trying to think of who else is definitely a lock for top six or a very, very strong chance of top six that was not in the top six this year. Right now, Nick Walker is a definite. I think Krizo is a possibility. Yeah, and we'll get to his next questions about Tonio. Rafael was not in. Rafael Brandao, who was not in the Olympia last year, took all of last year off. I think he's got a great chance of making top six this year. As does Tonio. Tonio looks great too. So that leads me to his next question. Do you believe that Rafael deserved to beat Tonio? I think it could have gone either way. It was one of those flip a coin type of decisions. They each had things the other one did not have. What do you do in that situation? You can't have ties in bodybuilding, unfortunately. Sometimes, justifiably, two guys really are kind of tied. You can't say one definitely deserves to beat the other unless you're like a super fan of one, and then you could say, yes, Tonio deserved to win, or Rafael definitely deserved to win. I gave it to Rafael based on superior size, better structure. He's wider across the shoulders, crazy V-taper, quad flare. They both have great physiques. They're both great bodybuilders. Tonio was in much better condition. Not taking that away from him for 1 minute. He definitely has better back development. Rafael's back is not bad. But I don't know, man. I wouldn't have argued if Tonio had taken the win, and I didn't argue when Rafael won. They were close. Tonio did get a couple first place votes from what it looks like on the score sheet, and it could have gone either way. You please do the pec thing. No, Derek, I'm not doing the pec thing. Before 20, bro. That's my man Mike over in Tampa, Florida area. Yes, Mike. I told Mike, since I can't partake because of my hair regrowth goals, I said, smoke an extra one for me. And he said, sure, I can do that. Tonio versus Martin in New York. Who you got? I like Tonio's shape better. I do. Martin's more thickly muscled. He's denser. If they're in equal condition, I'd probably give it to Martin. Probably. I don't know. That's a tough one there too. These are tough. New York Pro is going to be I see Nick Walker winning that. I don't see anyone beating Nick. Let's be real, guys. He was third place at the Olympia a couple years ago. He's the Arnold Classic USA champ. It's the hardest Arnold to win. Much harder than the UK or the South America, certainly in typical years. So I don't see anybody beating Nick. We also have Tonio, who's very good. Tonio was last year's New York Pro winner. Martin Fitzwater just won Detroit, looked pretty damn good. And we have Beef Stew. What's Stew's real name? Stu Sutherland, right? Yeah, Stu Sutherland. We call him Beef Stew. And he looks great. I think that's your top four. I see Nick winning, and after that, I don't know. Tonio and Martin, I could flip a coin. Until I see them that day in front of me, I am going. Just got word. Credentials have been approved. Thank you, Steve Weinberger. We'll be there covering the show. Good buddy Jose Raymond's going to help me out doing some of the wrap-ups with me. I was doing live interviews the night before at the athletes meeting, or outside the athletes meeting, I should say. So that's New York Pro May 18th. I'll be heading down there. I'll take my son Christian down. He's going to be my cameraman or iPhone man on the tripod and all that. He'll be coordinating with Jen. Jen's going to help out from over in Long Island. We're going to do it on StreamYard. It's going to be a great weekend. I look forward to really being back on the live contest coverage scene coverage, I should say. We've been doing these on this channel. We've been doing some live watch parties. I've been doing, wrap-ups later, a few days later with Giles for Power Hour, things like that. But this will be the first live contest coverage, on-site contest coverage I've done since last October at the Olympia. So I'm really excited about getting back to it. Nanny Risilbego. Will I lose muscle if I drop carbs very low, 100 grams per day in a cutting phase? My protein is very high. That's true. I'm training 5 days per week, doing cardio for 10 steps per day. Well, you might not. If you start to lose muscle, you would probably want to boost your calories up a little bit. I mean, again, it's calories in versus calories out. A lot of people do find they lose muscle on low carbs. Obviously having high protein is going to mitigate that to an extent. If you take your carbs down too low, a lot of people will still lose muscle, no matter how much. So what I would do, I always did, worked for me. Instead of just going low carbs all the time on a cut, I would have more carbs on my training days. So my pre and post workout, I would have probably about 100 grams in my pre-workout meal. I would do like 50 grams post-workout with the shake. in whatever form that was going to take. And then another like 100 grams carbs in my post-workout meal. And on the off days, the days I wasn't weight training, just doing cardio, posing, stuff like that, those are the days where I would go like 100 grams of carbs for the whole day. That worked well for me. It's sort of like it's kind of like carb cycling, except it's not structured in like 3 days high, 1 day low. I just did it on, if I'm training 3 days on, 1 day off, I would do 3 higher carb days and a lower carb day, or sometimes I would throw in extra rest days, whatever the case. You really have to monitor. It's not the same for everybody. So check out, do body composition tests. If your strength is going down rapidly, that's a good indication that you probably are losing muscle mass. You shouldn't be losing a ton of strength. You're going to get a little bit weaker. Typically, most people do. Some people don't. There's always outliers, and they always let me know in the chat or in the comments. Like I'm 105 years old and I can still squat 700 pounds for 20 reps. Good for you. That's not many 105-year-old men can do that. So good for you, sir. But yeah, it's an individualized thing. You have to keep track of your calories, keep track of your strength. If you can do, body composition tests like a DEXA scan, something like that, that'll let you know how much muscle mass you still have. And if you find you are losing muscle mass, you could probably either cut back a little bit on the cardio, increase the overall calories, the fat's low. So if I'm going, that's another thing, obviously you're looking at total calories, but when I'm lower on carbs, my healthy fats are higher. So if I'm doing meals it's a low carb day, my fats are higher on that day. So that's a day that I'll have like red meat for a meal. I already have a couple whole eggs in my breakfast anyway. I would do like, plain unsalted nuts, like a half a cup with one of the meals, with like, say like white fish and then nuts and some vegetables, something like that. Salmon has natural omega fats in it. That's another good source for healthy fats. So, because I never like to take my calories too low. Again, as I referred to in a previous question a few minutes ago, I would rather do a little more cardio and eat more than eat less and not do as much cardio. As much as I'm not a fan of cardio, but once you get into the zone cardio, you get better at cardio the more you do it. And when you're in prep, yeah, you're tired and you're hungry and all this, but you get better conditioned in a cardiovascular sense. I always did. Toward the end of a prep, you're much lighter. You lost a bunch of body fat, a bunch of body weight. I could run my ass off. I mean, I was like, one time I broke an elliptical runner at my gym because I was going so fast. Hairline is coming in. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. Yeah, it's coming in. It's not where it was, Here's show a picture. I got to show a picture because it came up from 21 years ago, what my hairline used to look like. This is just a good example of how fabulous my hair used to look. Can't stay young forever, guys. Wouldn't that be awesome if you could, though? So this was 2003. Look at that. Look at that hair. Oof. So thick. Nice low hairline there. Wasn't receding at all. So I was 33 years old there. This was April 2003. I was 33. Yeah, 33 years old there. I was getting ready for a show. I was actually out there to do a show that week. I shouldn't say getting ready. I was almost in contest condition at that point. Good times. That's enough of that. Okay, next. Very cool, Ellen. $2. Thank you so much. What the heck happened to MD? Never really knew. Yeah, that's a good question. I'll answer it. That's a fair question. So Muscular Development, as you know, I was the online editor. I was the senior writer for the magazine. The magazine itself had been around for many, many years, decades. I started writing for them freelance in 2001. And I didn't become a full-time employee until 2017. So for 16 years, I was a contributor to the magazine. I wrote a lot for them, but I was writing for many other magazines too. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. So what happened was print magazines had a heyday. I'd say 2020, 2001, 2011, first like 10 years I was with MD, the magazine was this thick. It was like a freaking phone book. It was 400 to 500 pages. Half the magazine was ads, and people used to complain about that. But you know what? When half the magazine was ads, that means they were making bank. I think at one point, don't quote me, but it was somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000 for a full page ad. That was like standard for either. Flex was our biggest rival, Flex magazine. They were huge too. They were like thick like a phone book. And we were both tons of advertisers, and that's a lot of money coming in. I mean, we had so much money at one point. I remember, going to the Olympia and the Arnold at different times, various times before I was the online editor. By the time I was online editor, the money the income was not like that anymore. The revenue was not like that anymore. But when I was with them in those earlier years, I would go out there, and Steve was very generous, man. He really was. People talk shit about Steve Blackman, but let me tell you, when we had all those guys under contract with the magazine with columns, he would fly them and a spouse or girlfriend, whatever, out to all these shows, pay for their airfare, their hotel. And, we had like a staff sheet of our staff for each event. If we were, coverage, they were all on there with their phone numbers if we needed contact, but they weren't doing anything. They weren't working for us. They were just there. I guess, they're athletes with the magazine. They were technically just representing us, but still. So anyway, the money was flush. There was a lot of money coming in. And then the website started in, I think, 2005 or 2006. Websites were still kind of a newer thing at that time. And we had a forum that was doing great. Started a YouTube channel, and it was the earlier days of YouTube, which means there wasn't as much competition. It was easier to get like big views. Like we had videos back then that were doing 1 million views or more. They're still up on the MD YouTube channel is still up. The website's down. So anyway, print magazines, they all started going away. We were actually the very last. MD was the last print magazine. Muscle and Fitness went out of print. Flex, Muscle Mag, Iron Man, all the other magazines went out of business, the major magazines. And Steve kept it going for years and years, long past the point where anyone thought it was even possible. And I know money was very tight. It was tougher to get advertisers. They weren't paying as much. We couldn't charge as much. We didn't have the circulation anymore because people get everything for free on their phone. They're seeing things online on YouTube. People don't read magazines like they used to. I mean, if you look at print magazines in general, so many of the major magazines from when I was a kid, like, Life magazine, they're gone. They're all gone. Everything's like just online versions. So, money was getting harder and harder to come by for the company. I don't know all the details. I was never privy to the financial details of the company, nor did I want to be, but it wasn't my company. I was an employee. It was Steve's company. And eventually I think it just became impossible to sustain because there was no return. The return on investment, when you're a business, you have to make a profit or else you can't pay your employees and you can't pay for day-to-day operations. Print the magazine costs money. I was making good money, guys, and a few of us were. I will say this: he paid me well for many years. I made a lot of money working for him. I miss that money now because it was, I worked hard, but he paid me well. But MD, so November 14th, 2023, myself and the other 4 or 5 other full-time employees. Yeah, it was 5 of us. We all got a phone call from Steve saying, thanks for everything. Appreciate all your hard work, but I'm shutting operations down. Friday will be your last paycheck. Best of luck. And, I was shattered. I was shocked. Not to say that I hadn't seen it coming. A lot of people were warning me for years, they're going to go out of business. I said, yeah, whatever. And, I honestly thought Steve could keep it going indefinitely, not making much of a profit, but enough of a profit. But it must have become impossible to sustain and to, especially the payroll. Like I said, I was being paid well. A few of the others, we were all making good money, and you can't pay people with no revenue. And the advertising revenue just wasn't coming in anymore because, most of our advertisers were supplement companies. Supplement companies, they see more of a return on investment now to just, say there's an influencer, some guy who's on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram, and he's got 1 million followers. He's got maybe 500,000 subscribers on YouTube. So you pay him a salary and give him a code he gets a certain percentage of whatever supplements you sell. You pay this guy, I don't know, 50, 100 grand a year, whatever. I don't know. Most of them don't make that much money. Most of them just get like a percentage of sales, but there are influencers that make good money. So you pay them and they basically have market your products. They make posts every day on their Instagram, their TikTok, all over social media, whatever platforms, Twitter, I don't know. Basically hyping up your product shots, telling you. So the bottom line is that's a more economical way for the supplement companies to get their advertising and marketing done, more so than giving a magazine, I don't know, a few $1,000s for a print ad in a magazine that has a fraction of the circulation it used to have because people don't read anymore. So yeah, it was sad to see it go. The YouTube channel is still up. It hasn't posted any new videos since last November. I don't think it's impossible that the company won't come back, because if somebody came along with the right offer, Steve would sell them the brand, the company. Someone could take Muscular Development. I don't have that kind of money. I don't. But someone else could come along who had the money and a vision. And, I would, in my imagination, it would be someone with, they would hire like a few really social media savvy people and really bring the brand back in a huge way on social media, because they would be buying everything. They would be buying the print title if they wanted it, the YouTube channel, which has 334,000 subscribers. They would be getting the Instagram. Facebook has a few million likes on it. The Instagram had a few 100,000 people, I believe. So yeah, that's what happened to MD. And like I said, it could come back one day if someone comes along with the right offer and Steve likes that offer and sells them the brand. But right now it's something it's just part of history. It's gone. Subscribe, like, share, ring that bell. Doesn't cost you anything. Mike Cox says, you think Quentin could beat Nick in New York? He looks silly. So now you make me want to check him out. So what's Quentin's Instagram? Quint Beastwood, right? Yeah. Let me see if I can find that for you guys. I'm going to go to Quint Beastwood. So he's talking about Quentin Araya, originally from Nigeria. He's been living in Toronto area for many, many years. He's got a Canadian accent. He does not have a Nigerian accent. But Quint looks really good. He took off all last year to get bigger. He could be the next Nigerian sensation. So let's take a look at him. All right. Let's share the screen, because this is a guy that's I do see him surprising people this year. Okay, so here we go. So here's his latest posing update. This was today. Look at that, guys. Wow. I remember meeting him for the first time at the Toronto Pro, probably like 2018, 19. And he was going to do Classic. He had planned on doing Classic because he was close to making the Classic weight. At the last minute, I think they ended up deciding to fill him out a little bit and let him do Open. I think he ended up taking fourth in that show in his pro debut. Look at the shape on him. Look at those tiny joints, flaring thighs, just really full, round muscle bellies. I think Quentin's going to be damn good. So, off-season versus big prep. Prepping now? Yeah, does he look like he's prepping? Yeah, he does. I know. What is he doing? I know he's doing. Is he doing New York? Shit, if he's doing New York, I could see him in the. Top three or. So this was a couple days ago. Yeah, look at the proportions. This is like a 300-pound guy. He's about 6'1", I want to say. Well, so Nick Strength and Power asked him what show he's doing. Oh, New York. Well, did he say it? Quint didn't say it. Two other people said he was from doing New York, so I guess that's it. Wow. Yeah, he looks great. Look at the shape on him. Huh. Yeah, so he's 4 weeks out. This is probably closer to 5 weeks out, these pictures. Quint looks great. Here's when he was natural. He turned pro at like a natural pro qualifier up in Canada, I think, that they had. So here he is on the left when he was natty, and kaboom. He was definitely truly natty there. I mean, look at him, and then look at him here. Kaboom, he exploded. Fucking blew up. When I was 20, I did my first bike. Oh, no, okay, so this wasn't when he turned pro. This is first show. Good thing I read the caption. No, I don't look as stupid. So you can still see the structure, the shape, everything was already there. And look, he already had great quads. He was 20 and natural. Not the widest clavicles, but geez, he put a ton of muscle on top of all that. So that's Quint when he was natty boy. Yeah, I mean, those of you who can really spot potential, you look at him now though. Woof, huge. Damn, he got big. All right, that's enough of that. Do you think Quentin could beat Nick in New York? Was Mike's question. I don't know. He certainly has much better shape, better balance. You know, Nick put some muscle on, but it seems like he put most of that muscle on his upper body. His legs don't seem to have gotten any bigger. And that's, people were saying he was a little top heavy before. Nick Walker does not have small legs, guys. Let's take a look at Nick now. But his upper body has gotten bigger, and it makes everything else look just a little bit smaller. Search. So it's Walker 39, Nick Walker 39. Let's look at the mutant. Let's check out our boy, Nick Walker, Big Nick. All right. Look at that. Joaquin was the top comment. That's a guy I trained for a bit. It's a done deal. I mean, yeah, he's going to be damn tough to beat, guys. I know he's only showing the upper body here. We'll look at some other stuff. But look at that. He is just huge. I mean, Quint has prettier shape. He's got a better V-taper. Nick doesn't have a big, thick, blocky waist, but it's not like Quentin. Quentin has just a God-given wasp waist. Say wasp, not like a white guy, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. I mean a wasp like the insect. They have small waists. There's the one. There's a side shot showing the New York Pro ring that he won. Last time he won New York Pro, a few years ago. Yeah, people are comparing his form to Hadi's. Nick uses very precise, great form, good squeeze at the top, nice slow negative on everything. I think I did a video. On one of these Ask Rons, I showed his form, and after looking at Sam Sulek's form, because Sam just kind of slings weights around because he's having fun, and that's okay. That's okay, but you're not going to build a back like the best back you can doing that. I mean, Nick is he is a mutant. Look at this guy. So when was this? This was earlier in the week, a few days ago. Xavier says, oh yeah, Cameron Cheek is a coach. Ross Flanagan, Michael DeBoule, Team Alice. He's got a lot of celebs in his comments. A lot of industry celebs. Yeah, Nick looks crazy. But yeah, see, that's not a big waist at all. See, these are not small thighs, guys. They're not. It's just that his upper body is so massive, so massive. Drinking Celsius in the bathtub, is that a good idea? I don't know. Anything on his stories worth noting? Sometimes people put the cool stuff in their stories. No, he's just answering questions. Oh, he's showing. How did I end up on Quint's stories? Well, anyway, that's enough of that. Let's go back. All right, let's go on to next. Mike Cox, great sale at the Spencer's Day. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to cry about not being able to smoke. I mean, I could if I didn't care about this, but I spent a lot of money. I went all the way to freaking Turkey, halfway around the world to get new hair, and I would like to have nice. When this comes in, when this really fills in, I think it's going to look good. The top, I'm not as confident about. It's coming in, but not to the same degree. And it only has the top, the crown, whatever you want to call it, only has like a 50% success rate from hair transplants. This is like 90, this area. So, this is what I see in the mirror most of the time anyway. I'm using minoxidil twice a day, the foam. I only use that on the crown. I had one PRP session like 5 weeks ago. I'm going for another one soon. That's where they draw out your blood. They spin it around in a centrifuge. It's a registered nurse that does it out of a beauty salon. The plasma is separated from it. It's like this yellowish fluid. It looks like tren, and that's what's injected into the transplanted areas for better blood flow and everything. Mandy's watching too. Well, what's up, Mandy? Have a happy 420. Yeah, I'm not celebrating, but hopefully you guys are celebrating for me. Yeah, man. I'm not going to cry about not smoking and not being high. I promised I wouldn't cry. Well, what's up, Mandy? Great people, the Coxes. The Cox family. Train on sativa. Yeah. So this is in response to the question earlier about training on weed. So indica is the strain that gets you really tired and relaxed. That's what people typically use who have trouble sleeping. They'll smoke that at night, watch a little TV, and then they crash right the hell out. Sativa is a strain that you can still have good energy on it. I guess alertness. I just I get stupid when I'm high. I always lose my vocabulary, my short-term memory. Yeah, I'm not a genius, but it knocks me down, my IQ down a few points for sure. So love it, not so much. But I get a great mind-muscle connection. I totally get that. You know what? One thing I used to do a lot when I was smoking, which wasn't that long ago, but a lot of times I would pose high because I could really connect with the muscles posing. You know, if I was hitting like a crab, I could really get like every fiber contracted perfectly in the chest or double bicep, whatever it was. I felt I could pose better because I had a better connection with the muscles. I think I could actually pose better, but you know, the trade-off made me dumb. So just to educate those of you who don't know, there's also hybrid strains that combine sativa and indica in one strain of the cannabis. So you get a little bit of both. You know, I couldn't remember for the longest time which one made you tired and which one didn't. And it was Hector Mendoza, our guy that did a lot of video work and photography for us, a lot more video work. He was with me for a lot of the contest coverage the last few years before MD folded. And he says, gave me a great mnemonic way to remember, you know, the little memory tricks. It says, couch. Smoke indica, it'll put you in the couch. I go, oh, I can remember that. Smoke Tick Ultimate Orange. Yeah, so Mike is referring to pre-workouts. I don't think pre-workouts became a thing until early 2000s. I don't remember there being pre-workout products. They certainly weren't around in the 90s. We used to just drink coffee or take like ephedrine tabs, which were for fat loss, but they gave you a lot of energy too. I used to drink instant coffee. My teeth were like stained brown from this Folgers instant. But there was a product, I think Dan Duchesne helped develop it for, what was it, Champion Nutrition? I can't remember the company that made it. Champion Nutrition, maybe? Anyway, it was called Ultimate Orange. It was orange flavored. It had stimulants in it. A lot of people said the early batches had a little bit of D-ball in it. I don't know if that's true or not, but people used to get pumped. I never tried it. Did I try it once? I don't think I ever tried it, but people used to rave about it. So yeah, if you smoke and you get tired from smoking, but then you could take something like that to sort of bring your energy levels back up. That makes sense to me. Old Chud Muffin. Drinking kratom is way better. It takes pain away and allows you to push your sets further and dials in. Never tried it. I think I tried kratom at an expo. Was it the Olympia? The expo? Might have been the Olympia Expo, the last one I was at, because Guy Cisternino, does he own a supplement company? He does, right? Anyway, Guy had it at his booth, and I think I tried some. Were they in the form of gummies? I think they were some kind of like candy type of delivery system. I don't know. It wasn't just like pills or anything. It wasn't a drink. Pretty sure they were like gummies or not a lollipop. Yeah, it must have been like gummies. Yeah, I've heard that about kratom, but I've never really tried it. What do you think is the best training split, half body or full body? I think full body is too much. If you're really short on time, like if you can only make it to the gym twice a week, if that's your situation, yeah, you want to hit the body twice. So that would make sense to me. Like maybe you can only get to the gym on a Monday and a Thursday, and that's it. Or I don't know, a Tuesday and a Friday, whatever. Full body, yeah, I would do like pick one major exercise. You know, for quads, I would do squats. I would do lying leg curls for hams, bench press, some type of bench press for the chest, laterals for the shoulders because you're already getting the front delts in the press, barbell row, chin, stuff like that. I would do like dips. I would do like a lot of compound multi-joint movements. I would, you know, a few sets of those each, 3-4 sets. But if that's I don't think that's ideal. What I don't think there is an ideal training split. Everyone has gotten there. I mean, there's so many people that have gotten great results with many different splits. Leads me to believe that it doesn't really matter. It's not that critical. There's no ideal training split. I've been doing push-pull legs for I think about 6-7 years now. I love it. So push-pull legs, you can do it in that sequence and then take a day off and then repeat. Or if you need an extra rest day or two, whatever, you can put them in anywhere. It doesn't screw up the order. I like it because there's no overlap. So, say you're supposed to do chest on a Monday, chest and triceps. And then, like Wednesday, you're supposed to do shoulders. But let's say your triceps are still sore. Or your chest is still sore. If there's overlap, it's going to screw up your shoulder workout to an extent, or vice versa. So by putting all the pushing muscles together in one workout, which is chest, shoulders, and triceps, they get rested until the next time you do that day. There's no overlap. Your nervous system still gets worked, your CNS, but your actual muscles get a break. Pull day, back, biceps, rear delts, traps if you want to work traps, and legs. Leg day obviously is its own day. I've been doing that, and I personally love that. I don't know if it's ideal, but it's pretty damn great. I love it. You can do any variation of the bro split. But if you're talking about half body or full body, I just wouldn't want to do full body. It's too much to do all at once if you're doing it multiple days a week. But if you can only train a couple days a week, that makes sense. You could do upper body, lower body, lower body, something like that kind of split. Again, that's a lot of. The whole upper body in one day is a lot. That's a lot. You're doing chest, back, shoulders, biceps, triceps. It's a lot to do in one day. Cody, any difference in your physique you noticed since you quit? No, I can't say that cannabis had any negative effect on my physique. It's all all the effects I've noticed have been cognitive. I think more clearly, better mental clarity, my vocabulary, which was fading. I was struggling to remember like synonyms for words, or what's the word for, it didn't get to the point where I was like, what do you call this thing? Pen. That's right. It wasn't that bad, but I don't have an amazing vocabulary, but I had a pretty decent vocabulary, and I was losing it. And my short-term memory was definitely going. I was just forgetting stupid things. And it was kind of sapping my productivity, my motivation. I still, I was always one who got my work done. I wouldn't smoke until all my work for that day was done. And if I had to do an interview at night or something, I wouldn't smoke that night because I don't want to do my interviews high. But yeah, physical effects. If I had any, I can't say there's any, I don't notice any difference. It's like, I'm not any leaner or anything. I mean, that's something people would say, well, you're probably eating cleaner. I am eating cleaner. But I don't seem to be any leaner than I was. Anyway, old Chud Muffin tore my Achilles a few years ago. Ouch. It's the thickest tendon in your body. My right calf's been noticeably small. I tried everything aside from everyday training, which I've been doing for 2 weeks now. If this doesn't work, it's over. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they put it back, the tendon exactly where it was before. Like, I had my quadricep tendon tore. I tore my quad, which is the quadricep tendon is what tore. And I had surgery 5 days later, August 30th to September 4th. It was 5 days, I think. 6 days. But I don't think the tendon is back exactly where it was. I don't think my knee moves exactly the way it used to be. I'm having knee pain. I have to be very, very careful with how I place my feet, which direction the toes are going, where my foot is on a platform or on the floor, if I'm doing like a belt squat or something like I did today. So I don't know if that's the case with you. I don't know if maybe your tendon wasn't reattached exactly the way it was before. If it was, if they reattached your tendon, actually, you didn't tell me whether, I assume they must have put it back. They must have reattached it, right? Yeah, if they didn't reattach it, you wouldn't even be able to walk. So, yeah. Yeah. Trying everyday training. I don't know if everyday training works. That was something the old timers used to do when they had trouble getting their calves to grow. Another thing that this sounds so stupid. I know it's going to sound ridiculous, but if you're walking around and you can get away with it, like no one's going to be seeing this, walk on your tiptoes. Walk on your tiptoes for as long as you can. Like if you're on a walking your dog or whatever, walking around the office. I don't know. Look at like ballerinas. Ballerinas are on their toes a lot. Skinny little women, they all have calves, all of them. I've never seen a ballerina that didn't have little bulging calves. It's because they're always up on their toes. So I tried it in the past, and I didn't measure to see if the calves grew, but I definitely used to get sore. I felt like they were growing. The calves have never really been a huge problem for me. Like these freaking triceps. You suck, triceps. This is a Rami one. Mike Cox again. Chuffing kratom tastes so bad. I don't remember. Like I had it. It was in candy form, so they probably had it drenched in so many artificial sweeteners. Maybe I need to try this kratom stuff. M12. Do you think Rami can crack top 3 at the Olympia? Yeah. I think he's fully capable. There's rumors that he's getting together with Patrick Tuor, who is Keon Pearson's coach, who just won the 212 Olympia last year. Patrick works with a lot of people successfully. I got in trouble because I mentioned him as the wrong coach of somebody last time. But Patrick's a great coach. I don't know if it's a matter of that, but I've heard that Rami is like really hungry and he's pissed off that like people are writing him off and forgetting about him and saying he's never going to win again. He's never going to be top 5 again. I think Rami still has the potential if he can resolve all those issues that we saw. We saw atrophy in one of his triceps, one of his calves. His lower lats seemed to be kind of retracting. He was getting stem cell therapy. I don't know. If he can resolve all those issues, he still has the physique that won the Olympia twice. We did see a pretty drastic improvement in Rami from the 2022 Olympia, where he was 5th, to the 2023 Arnold Classic, which was only, I think that year, 3 months apart. Yeah, because it was December and then March, where he took 4th at the Arnold. So, and he looked way, way better. He looked much, much better. The issues were still there, but they weren't as bad. So if he has continued to resolve those issues and his physique can get back to where it was, of course he can be top 3. He was Mr. Olympia. He's beaten all these guys before. Obviously, there's some brand new guys, but I mean, I think he's beaten pretty much all the top guys. All the top guys that are in the show this year. Sean Turner, never smoked weed ever. Good for you. I mean, that's great. I've talked to people that say they've never had a drop of alcohol. They've never smoked a cigarette or marijuana. I mean, that's awesome. It's rare. Mike Cox, we got Orlando tickets. Oh, Orlando Pro. I was going to say, don't go to Orlando tickets for the Olympia because that's back in Vegas. Don't do that. You'd be in the wrong city. Orlando Pro. Nick could win the O this year. Not pretty, but nasty muscle and gets hard as nails. Yeah, I mean, listen, I remember when Ronnie Coleman, his first few years as a pro, nobody thought Ronnie would ever win the Olympia. Jay Cutler, first few years as a pro, nobody thought Jay was ever going to be able to win the Olympia. Yeah, he did have that great breakout year. Was it 01, 02? But prior to that, people were like, nah. Dexter, people thought Dexter was too small to ever win the Olympia. He won the Olympia once. Sean Roden, people didn't think he was big enough to win the Olympia. The late Sean Roden, rest in peace, he won the Olympia. I think, Nick, if you've been top 3 at the Olympia, which he has, you can't say that somebody who's been top 3 at the Olympia will never win the Olympia. You can't say that. They were better than everyone in the world, all 9 billion people, all the bodybuilders in the world except for 2. They clearly are capable of winning the Olympia. And I mean, given the right scenario, Hadi could get his title back. Lunsford could improve and keep his title. Nick could win. We never know. You never know. I mean, that's I like it when it's exciting. It's unknown like that, because otherwise that's why we get bored with multiple champions and we sort of turn on them, is because we're like, God, this guy's already won 3, 4, 5 times. People start turning on you, like Phil. Eventually, Phil. People were like, they wanted to see a new champion. Ronnie. Eventually, people just got. That's why Jay became so popular. He was the underdog. Took second to Ronnie on 4 different occasions. People just want to see the underdog win there. Once you're the champion and you've won multiple times, people are like, you're no longer exciting to be a fan of, I guess. Congrats on the credentials. Thank you. Yeah, so I got passes for myself. Christian, my son, is going to help us out with the interviews and the wrap-ups, working the camera and talk to Jen on the phone. And Jose's going to work with me. Well, obviously, I love working with Jose. Coverage, if you need help, let me know. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. Arsav, what do you think makes the ideal bodybuilding fan? Team fans are allowed to be biased, but not only simple bodybuilding, biased, non-biased, and different. The ideal bodybuilding fan, who am I to say, who am I to judge? But I would say somebody that really follows the contests. There are a lot of fans these days who are fans of a particular athlete, and they're not really following the sport. They don't really follow this contest scene. that's their prerogative. Nobody, you don't have to. You can do a damn thing you don't want to do. But if you're a real fan of bodybuilding, you would want to know what's going on, who won the last show, who the favorites are for an upcoming show, who's looking good for the Arnold, the Olympia. You keep track of like all the top people, at least to some extent, instead of just following like one guy, which we see. But yeah, it's fine. If you want to be a fan of one particular athlete, that's great. The fans are the ones that really make these people what they are. They're the followers on their Instagram, they're subscribers on their YouTube. They buy the supplements that these guys are selling and get commissions for these guys from the supplement companies. So, and if you want to be biased, that's your favorite guy. Just like all sports fans are biased towards their team. If you're a Yankees fan or a Red Sox fan or a Patriots fan or a Steelers fan or, whatever fan of whatever team that you happen to follow, and maybe you watch all the games, maybe you live in the area, you go to as many of the games you can. That's great. You're supporting your team. You're a real diehard, hardcore fan. And I think anyone that's that passionate is a great fan. And we're lucky to have fans in bodybuilding because it's not the most popular sport. That's why we're not on mainstream television. That's why we don't have big mainstream sponsors like, beverage companies and shoe companies and car companies, because we're not that big. We don't have that many fans. So I appreciate the fact that we have any fans. And, I appreciate every one of you guys who watches these. And of course, again, like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell. Helps me out. Doesn't cost you anything. But yeah, we need more fans in bodybuilding if the sport's going to grow. So any fan is an ideal fan, bottom line. I think Quint Beastwood. I think he could definitely beat Tonio and Martin. I'm not saying he can't beat Nick Walker. Nick's really freaky, gets in a real grainy, gnarly condition. A lot of muscle detail, a lot of muscle maturity. If we see that from Quint, who knows? I mean, there are two very, very different types of physiques. If Quint shows up in crazy condition, it's going to be a battle. And I'm not going to say that Nick can't beat him. And Nick's my favorite to win. I think he's the odds-on favorite because he's done more in the sport. He's more accomplished at this point. On paper, he's got to be the favorite. Like I said, he's the Arnold Classic Ohio champ. He's already won the New York Pro before. He's been third at the Olympia, guys. I mean, he's been third, and then fifth place at his first Olympia. He's up there, guys. He's very well established. He's earned his reputation. So Quint could earn his reputation. If Quint beats Nick, if Quint Beastwood, Quint Narea beats Nick Walker, if any of these guys, Tonio beats him, if anyone's able to beat Nick, their stock is going to go up dramatically because they just beat one of the top guys in the world. So Nick's my favorite to win. Doesn't mean I'm saying nobody else can win. I would never say that. You go, Ron. Thank you, Tom. I'm trying to go. I know nothing about these two products. Turkesterone, all I know is that Coach Greg Doucette sells it. I don't know anything about it. Laxogenin is one of those, is it SARM? It's a SARM, right? I think. See, I don't keep up with all that stuff. I know I probably should. Great channel. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate that. Munchies are no joke. Yeah, I mean, I remember vividly many times in years past, in the winter, particularly, I used to bulk up to, I'd be over 240 every winter. Between 240 and 245 is where I lived, usually from November to March, and then I would start coming down. But I would get high. I would smoke up. Smoke for the first time at like 6, smoke again at 8. I would eat so much crap. Like I could do a whole frozen California Pizza Kitchen pizza, like teriyaki. There was a teriyaki one that I used to love. I could eat the whole pizza. I could have 2 big bowls of like honeycombs or Cocoa Puffs with milk. And then I would have ice cream on top of that. Maybe a cookie too, or a couple cookies. So yeah, that's the munchies I used to get. So when I was like 240, 245, it wasn't pretty, guys. My face looked like a freaking Cabbage Patch Kid. Jelly rolls around my sides. I couldn't breathe going up and down stairs. Couldn't tie my shoes. Is it okay to take a couple IU insulin with post-workout shake? I'm not going to say it's okay. I can't condone using insulin as a non-diabetic, but yeah, a lot of people do. A lot of people do that. They'll do insulin post-workout. The one thing where I used insulin one winter, and that's the winter when I got up to 247, but I didn't do it correctly. I was doing it pre-workout, before the workout, and I would have a carb shake while I trained, and then after I trained, I would have another shake with like whey protein, and some like maltodextrin, Vitargo, and I would have cookies, and the cookies had fat in them. So you don't want any fat with insulin. Milos told me years later what a moron I was for incorrectly using the insulin. But yeah, you can Google bodybuilding insulin use because I'm not going to give out any protocols. I'm not that guy. I don't know that much about using it properly. Clearly, I just told you I used it wrong. And I was never, when I was coaching people, I never had that as part of anyone's protocols. If they want to do it on their own, I wasn't able to stop them. Everyone's doing New York. Yeah, Goku. I mean, that's why I'm excited. New York Pro will be my first show covering on scene since the Olympia. I drive down there. It's like a 3-hour drive, maybe 4 if there's traffic. It's right across the bridge in New Jersey. It's like the first exit after you cross the bridge over into New Jersey from New York City. It's at the Marriott Glen Point in Teaneck, where I've competed a couple times. My last back in like 2011, 2013, I competed there. New York Pro's been there for a couple of years. It used to be in Westchester. I like that place too, but this place, plenty of parking, highways right there. Everything's in one building. The last New York Pro they had when it was in Westchester, New York, the venue was in like downtown Westchester. It's like a civic center. And then the hotel was a couple miles away. This is all under one roof. It's like a big ballroom. They've done the Universe there many times now. The New York Pro. What else do they have? Weinberger's production team, they put on a bunch of shows. I love that venue. It's 420. Well, it was when you made this post. 430. Just say I have no problem being bald. No. I want my hair, man. I want my hair. I believe me, I miss weed. I miss it. I loved it. Loved it for years and years and years. I'm 54. I probably smoked it pretty consistently from like age 28 on till 54. I just quit like mid-January. Superdraw. Have I ever tried Superdraw muscle machine? Yeah. I mean, I remember, I think I had some in pill form, probably like around 304, I want to say it was. Use it in off season. I didn't notice it being any more effective in terms of gains than like Anadrol or even D-ball at the same dosage. Some people rave about it. There's nothing magical about it. It's a really good androgen. You'll make quick gains. You'll retain a lot of water on it. You'll get puffy looking, probably break out in a little bit of acne. Skin's going to get kind of greasy. You'll get strong. You'll be a little more aggressive. It's a very powerful androgen, very effective, but I don't think it's like the be all end all. 40 split is good. Thank you, and you're welcome. Oh, is that your question? 40 split is good. Yeah, there's no wrong split. For many years, at least 20 years, I trained on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. I did 4 days a week and I had 3 full rest days off. That's how I trained for many years. I was doing that when I was natural, and even for a very long time when I was on gear, that was my split. So it would vary. Like there was always a leg day. Legs was always its own day. But like Monday, I would do, say, like chest and biceps. Maybe Tuesday, I would do legs. Thursday, I would do back. And Friday, would do shoulders and triceps. So I was split up that way. I did chest and shoulders on different days. I would do biceps with one of those days and triceps. Back was always its own day and legs was always its own day because those workouts were so extensive, so many different exercises and angles that I wanted to hit. I just didn't feel I would do justice to biceps, but if I did back first, which now I do it. I do back, biceps, and rear delts all in one shot now. I just take the volume down a touch. I don't do as much for back as if I was just doing a back workout. I do like 4 back exercises, 1 rear delt exercise. Sometimes I do 5 back exercises, but usually 4 or 5. 1 rear delt move and then two for biceps. That's all it takes. Well, talking about Canadian medical system is a joke. I've heard that many times, guys. I have not heard many good things about the medical system in Canada ever. It was released. I had no rehab instructions. So this is your Achilles tendon tear. Went back to work in a boot doing labor, so I'm assuming I'm stuck with this deformity. Yeah, that's the unfortunate is that they have free healthcare, guys. If you don't know this, Canadians obviously they know this. They have free healthcare up there. That's great, right? Because we get our healthcare is crazy expensive down here in the U.S. Unless you're like really poor and then you get it for free. But their system is awful unless you have a dire emergency where your life is at stake. You can wait months and months to see a doctor. Specialists are hard to get referrals to. It's just very hard to get the care that you're looking for up there because it's free. You get what you pay for. We pay out the ass, as I like to say here. We pay out the ass, but we have a pretty good healthcare down here. We have a really good, especially I'm fortunate enough to be close to Boston, Massachusetts. I'm like 20 miles south, but we have some of the best hospitals in the world, some of the best doctors in the world here. Harvard Medical School, Massachusetts General Hospital, Children's Hospital. They're all renowned as some of the best hospitals in the world. So, yeah, sorry to hear that, man, Chud Muffin. I've heard so many bad things about the medical system in Canada. It's unfortunate. I mean, even like Bumstead, when he had to get was a hernia surgery or something, he went to Michigan. He went across the border. This is a few years ago. I think it was a hernia surgery he had, right? If memory serves. He didn't have it done in Canada. He went across to Michigan and had it done. What's new in the future? Well, I got this channel. Going. That's pretty new. Subscribe, like, share, ring that bell, of course. I'm going to New York Pro. I'm very excited about that with my son. And I'm going to meet Jose Raymond there. It's going to be a great show. Summer's coming up. You're the man, Ron? Yeah, I should also note, so there's plenty of content on this channel. I've also been doing, for those of you who don't know, Muscle Tech, the supplement company, has a YouTube channel. And this year, for the past few months, I've been doing podcasts for them, interviews. I've done like Chef Rush. We did one, Blessing Awodibu. I've done two, like I did an Arnold preview with King Kamali, and then our recent video with King. King and I sat down and we went over the results of all three Arnold Classic shows. We did a wellness pro named Juliana Mota, who took second at the Arnold UK show, was it? I think. Yeah. Was it the UK? Yeah, the Arnold UK. Juliana. Did one of their athletes, Josh Manoy, natural kid with these massive arms. So I've done some stuff on there. Check that out. Some good stuff. Good interviews up there. So, I'm happy to be working with Muscle Tech because aside from this channel, that's like the only real steady work I have right now. At this point. Pinion Antonio versus Rafa drama. Well, the drama, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you either want to hear drama because it's like the sports. Let's be real. The sports can get boring. It's not that exciting. It's not like we have, replays to watch on Sports Center of this great tackle, this great 3-pointer, this great goal. We don't have stuff like that going on. It's just guys on stage flexing, and the contests aren't that frequent. It's like football. When these games are, there's like 30 baseball games a week during baseball season. There's a bunch of football games during football season every week, basketball games. They have plenty of games. We don't have that many pro shows, especially if you're a fan of like open bodybuilding, open men's bodybuilding. There's not that many shows. Sometimes you'll go weeks and weeks without one. Like we don't have another one now till New York Pro. And then it'll be New York Pro, Cali Pro, Toronto Pro. I think there's Vancouver Pro, Chicago, Tampa, Texas. A few of the ones over in Italy and Spain will be going on. Dubai Pro is before the Olympia. Dubai Pro is in August, I think, in the Olympia. So, yeah, I mean, it keeps us busy, the gossip and the drama between the two. Seems like there's no love lost between the two. Antonio didn't agree with the results of the Arnold Classic South America. He felt he was the rightful winner. He implied that Rafael only won because the judges were Brazilian and they were showing favoritism. Said he got preferential treatment at the show. He was able to oil up and pump up, and they weren't. I don't know. I don't know. Usually there's this guy's story, that guy's story, and the truth is typically somewhere in the middle. So I don't know. But yeah, if you like drama and that WWE feud type of stuff, it's great. If you're like, really, guys, this is childish bullshit, it's about the best physique up there, then you probably wouldn't like it. I look at it both ways. I know, I'm so wishy-washy. Yeah, have I seen Logan Franklin? Yeah, I follow Logan's updates. I follow Logan. I like Logan a lot. We interviewed many times. He had a call him an MD for a couple of years. And, I like Logan. He's a Armed Forces veteran, U.S. Army veteran, proud dad. Good. I call him a kid. I think he's like 30 or 31 or something. He's a kid to me. So my daughter's 30, so people that young, they're kids to me. I like Logan's physique a lot. He's getting bigger. That's all he needed. He just needed a little bit more overall size just to get a little bigger and fuller because he's got great shape. He's got some great body parts. Like his arms are really great, delts, really good V-taper. It's a beautiful physique. I wish him the best, and I hope he does real well this year. I don't know how well he can do. It's a great, the division's got so much talent in it. Classic physique is stacked with talent. We're I don't want to talk about it yet, but like the Wesley versus Sebum, that's going to be the big battle this year that everyone's looking forward to seeing. People are already assuming that's going to be the battle for first place is Bumstead versus Wesley, and what I predict will be Bumstead's final Olympia appearance. I personally think he's going to win his 6th title this year and retire on stage. He's going to say, everybody, peace out. Thanks for the memories. Had a great run. I'm moving on to other things in life. He's all set up with his businesses. He's got all kinds of business ventures and revenue coming in. He's doing great for somebody so young. He's only 29, guys. Bumstead is only 29 years old. That's amazing that he's accomplished so much. What is a close show that we should be looking forward to? Dubai Pro, New York Pro. So Dubai's after. Dubai is maybe I'll show you guys the contest schedule. Okay, yeah, let's take a look at that. So if you want to look at the contest schedule, this is a website called ifbbpro.com. Here we go. Share screen. So if you ever want to see the schedule, it goes by division. So it starts with Men's Open. We've already had these shows, Arnold, UK, South America, Detroit. So there's a Masters Pro show, April 26th. That's just Masters. Next Open show is New York Pro, May 18th in Teaneck, New Jersey. Very next weekend, we have California State Pro. A week after that, Toronto Pro. Not even a week after that. Oh, that is a week later. Empro Classic in Spain. That's the one, Alicante. I believe that's the one Crizo is getting ready for. Crizo. Next weekend, over in Milan, Italy, we got the Flex Weekend Italy Pro. Then we're in Portugal 2 weeks later for the Mr. Big Evolution Portugal Pro. Then we're back in Canada the next weekend for Vancouver Pro. And right after that, Chicago Pro. Dubai Pro is July 27th. That has a $100,000 first prize. And I think Classic, they're giving away $60,000 for first. Tampa right after that. Texas right after that. Another Master Show in Florida. Another Florida Master Show. My goodness. Another Pro Show in Italy, September 8th. UK Pro Show in London. Legion Sports in Reno. That's a great show. France Pro. A lot of open shows this year. Daytona Pro. Oh, that's just math. Oh, no, they have open. They do have open. Actually, yeah, I don't know why this one's here because this is only open. I don't know why the Masters shows are listed with the open ones, but whatever. Olympia, obviously, that's October 11th and 12th. Hurricane, that's another Master show. There's a muscle contest, Brazilian show in Sao Paulo. Romania, a Ben Weeder. This is a drug tester one in Alexandria, Virginia. It's November 15th and 16th. Another Master show, EVLS Prague. And the final contest of the year for open men is the Big Man Weekend Spain Pro. So, and on your left, guys, if you want to check it out, that's Men's Open. And then there's tabs for every division. So if you want to see what the 212 shows are, you click on that tab. This is an improvement because the last time I checked this, they didn't have that. You just had to keep scrolling down and scrolling down. This is a much improved way to navigate. So good job, IFBB Pro League. So yeah, this will show you the classic shows for the year, the Men's Physique Pro shows, wheelchair, women's bodybuilding. Yeah, so that's a good tool. IFBBpro.com, guys. 95 Arnold review. Yeah, that's up on this channel. I just put that up yesterday. A top 6 review of the first Arnold I ever went to. And I was there working for the TV production for American Sports Network. We produced it for ESPN, a 1-hour special. So I just reviewed the top 6 based on some video that had been transferred to somebody's YouTube channel. But I had fun with it. Check that out on this channel. So Mike Francois won. He's an Ohio legend. Yeah, so Mike Francois won that on his 30th birthday. A lot of you guys don't even know who Mike Francois was. He was massive. This was 95. He had just turned pro in 93 at the Nationals. 94, he won his first 2 pro shows. He won the Chicago Pro and the Night of Champions. He won a few pro shows. He only did 9 pro shows ever. 3 of those were Olympias. He won 4 pro shows. So he had a great record, but then he came down with colitis and had to have most of his colon removed. He almost died, but he survived, and that was the end of his bodybuilding. Career was cut way short. Manny, what is about Manny? Manny thinks Tony Drum is feminine. Feminine. See, he's high. And, you know, I would be too if I could right now. Yeah, I mean, when people are catty and like bitching each other out, that's kind of good. It's not looked at as a very masculine thing to do, right? Engaging in gossip and cattiness. Thoughts on Stefan? So this is Stefan. What's his last name? He's the boss of Outlaw. Boss of Outlaws from Austria. Kienzel, Stefan Kienzel. Coach now coaching several open bodybuilders now other than Urs and Wesley. He's a great coach. He did a great job with Wesley. Urs was a little over dieted and flat at the first Arnold. Looked a little better at the UK show. But obviously he's done a great job with Urs these past few years. Urs has won plenty of shows. Naxzilla is a mutant. Hope he comes in diced. That would be a sight to see. Well, now you're gonna make me go look at Naxzilla. I'm gonna be getting going soon, guys. But let's check out Naxzilla. So there's Rubiel Mosqueda, aka Naxzilla. Let's go to StreamYard. Where's it? Share screen. All right, let's take a look at Naxzilla. This will be the last thing I go to. The stories. Yeah, look at that neck. He's from Colombia. Yeah, this is off-season shape, obviously, but he's a thick guy. He's a big dude. He's a big boy. Neck and traps, I think, are overdeveloped. I think they take away from the physique a little bit. I really do. But the kid's a freak. He's probably like 30 years old. Yeah, he's a big bastard. That's what I say. Some posing stuff. Here he's posing with Breon. I guess Breon went down to, I don't know where they went to. Where were they this week? I think did they go to Spain or something? I saw some pictures. I don't know where they were. Were they in Colombia? I couldn't tell you. Yabalabs. Where were they? That's their sponsor. Yeah, he's a freak, man. Look at that. Look at those legs. You know, his arms are massive. They just need to be a little bigger because these legs, man. If these legs weren't so freakish, your arm looks good too. But yeah, Rubiel's a freak, man. He's a freak. Straight up freakazoid. Yeah, good stuff. What's up, Mark Max Muscle? Gary Stridham placed today's classic lineup. Classic. He was way too heavy for classic. I don't know, man. Gary Stridham, he looked great, but I don't know how well he would have done in classic. I'm actually gonna be doing like a. Was he in this one? Yeah, he was. I'm gonna be doing my next review video. Is gonna be the '89 Arnold Classic, which was the first Arnold Classic. Gary was in the top 5. He was 3rd place at the very first Arnold Classic in '89. So look forward to that video to be coming up next week. The break will do Sam's good, 100%. Boss coaching Martin. That's right. Boss of Outlaw. Stefan Kienzel did Martin Fitzwater's prep. First time. Let's see how New York goes. Martin has nothing to lose. Yeah, Martin looks great, man. Not taking anything away from him. It's just stacked. I mean, Nick Walker's tough. Tonio's tough. Beef Stew, tough. It's going to be a good show. Really good show. It's a natural way to cause an insulin effect without taking insulin. Consume some sugary. Yeah, obviously anything with simple sugars, even like fruit juice, drinking some fruit juice, or I'm not going to say drink soda, but yeah, anything that's like high fructose, high sugar is going to spike your insulin, anything like that. So yeah, that's definitely going to boost your insulin naturally, not to the degree of injecting insulin, but certainly safer practice. Favorite line from the movie Predator? You think it's going to be get to the chopper. I have a few. Get to the chopper. It's a Mac when the very opening shot with him and the late Carl Weathers, where Arnold and they shake each other's hands and they're both arms all oiled and bulging. And Arnold says, "Mac, you son of a bitch." Geez, I have so many great lines. Jesse the Body Ventura is in that movie, and he's offering one of the guys in the helicopter as they're choppering into like the jungles of Panama, wherever the hell they are, some chewing tobacco, and the guy declines it, doesn't want it. And Jesse's character, whatever his name was, says, "This stuff will make you a sexual tyrannosaurus." And then my last favorite line from Predator is toward the end when Arnold's all covered in mud and he's about to be killed by the Predator, or he's about to kill the Predator. He looks at him. He finally sees him without the mask. The mask comes off, and you see this alien face. Looks disgusting with the teeth. And he says, "You're one ugly mother effer. You're one ugly motherfucker." 89 Arnold, the first bodybuilding show I ever attended. Yeah, it was the first year that the Arnold happened was 89, right there in Columbus, Ohio. Training philosophy. Let's see. I don't really, George. I don't agree 100% with everybody's. I try to take elements from many different styles and apply them. Take the parts I like and discard the parts I don't like, and the parts that work the best for me and discard the parts that don't. So I've gotten results and tips and useful things from all those people and many other people. So I don't know. It's kind of like Jeet Kune Do, the late Bruce Lee's martial arts style, which he basically cribbed. It was sort of the best of like many other martial arts styles. I think you can take things from Platz, from Dorian, from Cutler, from even like Ronnie, from Heath, all the great champions and great coaches and stuff. I think they all had something. Like Hani Rambod, I like the FST sevens, doing the sevens. I mean, there's elements from all these different styles that you can incorporate. You don't have to follow any one particular style. Place is too hot for pickup. The chopper won't touch us till we reach the border. Hey, Billy, find me way out of this hole. That's a long line, man. You got a great memory, Max. Or Marks, whatever your name is. Does metformin alone better than glucose spoil agents? Don't know. Not qualified to answer that one. Don't know. The cover shot, those smaller ring pros don't have that muscle maturity, not a compliment observation. Yeah, I mean, the muscle maturity is one thing I had because I've been training for over 40 years now. So I would hope that's one thing I have. Going to be out of here soon. Can Beef Stew be top 5 in New York? Absolutely. He was second place last year to Tonio. Yeah, it's a stacked lineup, but I have him in the top 5 for sure. How does your training change over time? What's worked best for you? It's changed. I've been training for 40 years, so I've been through many different types of styles and philosophies and training more days a week, less days a week. I won't say that anything's worked far better, far superior to anything else. My own training, I've had to get away from a lot of compound movements I used to love, surely because of injuries and chronic inflammation, things like that. Like I don't barbell squat anymore. I haven't been able to do barbell rows in years, deadlifts. Anyway, I won't go on and on about that, but I wouldn't say that I've like dramatically increased or decreased my volume. I've tried much lower volume, didn't really see I didn't see results that were that much more impressive. I've gone higher volume again. I think everyone needs to try many different strategies, philosophies, techniques. Find what works for you. Find what you like. Find what gives you results. And just stick to it and don't worry about what anyone else is doing or what anyone else tells you. That doesn't work. All that really matters in the very end, all that matters are results. If you're getting results training a certain way, that's the right way for you to train. Don't worry about someone saying, "Oh, no, you need to do this, you need to do that." You don't need to do a damn thing. You need to do what works for you. If what they say, you try it, it works for you, great, keep doing it. If you try something, you're not seeing results, or you just hate that type of training, don't do it anymore. You don't owe it to anybody. What's up, Black Kaiser? Is taking GH necessary to go far in bodybuilding? I don't know if it's necessary. Pretty much everybody does it. I've never done it in the amounts. I've been using it for a few years now, like 4 years consistently, I think. Is that right? About 4 years. I've had some off time in there where I didn't have any, but it keeps you leaner at a but you're eating the same and training and doing the same amount of cardio, but you'll be leaner. It burns, it partitions fat better for you. I never saw the extra muscle growth because I think you need to take larger amounts. I've heard like a minimum of 6 to 8 units threshold before you start seeing any muscle growth in conjunction with the anabolics. But I never had that much. Didn't have that kind of cash to blow that much GH. You can't train like during each training twice a day, like Milo says, without burning out your CNS. Yeah, I mean it's true, but another thing to look at is what's your lifestyle like and how well can you recover? Somebody who's able to sleep like 9 hours a night and maybe take an hour nap, and they have the convenience, luxury of never missing any meals. They don't have any physical activity outside of training. They don't have any kind of physical job, nothing like that. Low stress life in general. I think someone like that is going to be able to get away with training harder and more frequently and still recover versus someone who's got more responsibilities on their plate, more stress in their lives. But yeah, I don't think you can train like Dorian Yates heavy duty twice a day, every day. You do need off time. You do need to recover between workouts. But there doesn't seem to be any golden rule, any one rule that pertains to everybody. 5 squat sales routine till at 35. Yeah, 45. Buy for a job. Yeah, man. I mean, I won't cry about all the stuff I used to do, or I'll just sound like every other old guy in the gym. You know, I used to do that. 500, I used to squat that. But yeah, I used to squat 500. I was never great at deadlifting, but I squatted 500 many times. Used to do barbell rows with shit form with 405. Good form, I could do like 315. Military press, shit form. Even behind the neck, I was doing 315. I have it on video. I was leaning so far back, though. It was like an incline press when I was doing it to the front. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, nobody stays young forever. Your joints, your tendons, ligaments, cartilage wears out. You'll get arthritis. I mean, these are human bodies we're dealing with. If you chopped off everyone's muscle and put it on a scale, who would have the most muscle? Greg Kovacs. I mean, if you're talking the most actual muscle mass that anyone's ever had on a stage, even Kovacs wouldn't be the one. It would be Lou Ferrigno. I'd say 93 Olympia. He had come back in 92. I don't know what he weighed there. Probably like 270, something like that, 280. The guy's 6'5". He came back in 93. So he did the Olympia twice, 92 and 93. And then after that, he just did the Masters once or twice. I know he did it once. Took second to Robbie Robinson at the first Masters Olympia in 94. But anyway, 93 Olympia. Ferrigno was every bit of 315 pounds on stage, super lean. So 315 pounds of muscle tissue, theoretically. Yeah, there's bone and organs in there, but I don't think Kovacs was even that heavy. Rami, I think, came in around 310 at an Arnold South America in Brazil that he won, but he wasn't that lean for that show. He just sort of showed up and won. Oh boy, hour and 23 minutes. All right, definitely cutting out soon. What keeps you going to the gym and still having the passion for lifting, diet, living lifestyle? I don't know how to answer that. I don't know why I still love this so much. It's just such an ingrained part of me that I'm going to the gym tomorrow. I'm already thinking about it. I went to the gym today. I'm always thinking about my next meal. Why? I don't compete. I haven't competed in almost 11 years now. I'll never compete again. I'm on TRT, a little tiny bit beyond TRT. I'm on like 280 test and 100 milligrams of Deca a week, which is a little over standard TRT. I'm well aware of that. So I'm not as big as I was. I'm 224, 225 right now. Trying to get under 220. I'm not as lean as I want to be. But I mean, I love the sport. I love training. I can't imagine not training. That month after my hair transplant that I had to go without training, that's the longest I'd gone in 40 years. And it was rough. I tried to stay busy. I finished another book. It's in the links on my Instagram. But man, I was going crazy not going to the gym. I just love it that much. Even when I've had like tricep reattachment surgery, I was in the gym 2 days later doing the other side of my upper body, and I was still doing legs. When I had the shoulder surgery, which was 3 weeks after that, I was still training. I was always training something. Even when I tore my quad, I couldn't do legs for months. Couldn't do a leg workout for like 4 months. And then I came back very, very light. But I was always training upper body. I missed one day after the surgery, my leg reattachment surgery. So I had surgery on Tuesday. By Thursday, I was back in the gym. Couldn't drive. My leg had to be straight out. My son had to drive me around everywhere, but I was back in the gym. I love training. Don't feel bad if you can't get full 8 hours for industrial or even still 2 parts sleep for hours. Yeah, I mean, thanks, Alberto. Yeah, it's true. I mean, I've been getting 8 hours. I get plenty of sleep. I get 8, sometimes 9 hours of sleep. Minimum of 8. Typically, it's rare that I don't get 8 hours of sleep. But if you can't get 8 all at once, for whatever reason, your schedule, try to grab another hour or some point, or sleep more on the weekends, whenever you can. Body, most people has their limits. Everyone can't recover like Ronnie Coleman. Oh, 100%. Some people just recover better than others. I find that people with a strong athletic background who were used to, like Ronnie had played high school and college football, Grambling State University, 2-a-day practices. He was used to a lot of training with, they didn't have a ton of time to recover. It was 2-a-day practices, like 2 hours twice a day. It was 4 hours of brutal football practice out in Louisiana heat. It's a hot, humid place. So people like that tend to recover better. I don't know if they just gravitate towards sports because they recover better, or if it's a function of their body adapting to it. But yeah, we don't all recover the same. And as a general rule, people recover better when they're young than they do when they're older. It's why we recover from injuries so much faster when we're young. You screw up like a shoulder or your lower back when you're young, and it's not unusual for a week later you feel fine again. When you're like 40, 50 years old or beyond, you ain't gonna be feeling great in a week. Yeah. Mark Smacks Muscle is a really cool YouTube channel. All right, this is the last one. Did GH results diminish if you stop taking for some reason? Like, oh yeah. If you stop taking GH, the results, they're gone. Yeah, you have to stay on it forever, basically, if you want to keep reaping the rewards and seeing the results from it. All right, guys, I'm going to take off, going to a family dinner soon. Appreciate you guys hanging out here with me on 420. Hope you had a good time. I enjoyed speaking with all of you. Of course, you want to subscribe, like, share, ring that bell. Follow me on Instagram. Doesn't cost you anything. Ron Harris Muscle, same as the channel. It'd be cool if you followed me. Appreciate it so much. That's it, guys. So appreciate you all watching. Enjoy what's left of the weekend. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. I'll see you right here on the next time. Bye-bye.